Namatho Ratanatayasa. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening, everyone. So today is Thursday, the 27th of May 2021, and this is Ajahn Sujan from Warapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen, Scotland. So as usual, I'm here with you all tonight, be with you and sharing some insights. As we know that yesterday and the day before, we were a little busy with the Vesak celebration, the celebration of the Buddha's birth and his enlightenment and his passing away day. Hello, Margaret. Good evening. Hello, Sofa Chuang Chochit Rom Po Rom Sai. So wherever you're from, if you hear me well, just text me so that I can make sure that everyone hears me well. So today, once again, I am using this stream yard and part of this Dhamma Pen team with the other members. And hello, Anish from Thailand. Hello, Margaret. Thank you very much. Ma'am from Essex. Hello. So today we are following the teachings and concentrating on this teachings of the Buddha, particularly reflecting on the qualities of the Buddha. So far, I have explained about 7 of it. So let me remind again that are Arahang, number 1, Samma Sambuddho, number 2, Vijjacharana Sampanno, number 3, Sugato, 4, Lokavidu, 5, Anuttaro Purisa Dhammasarathi, 6, and then Sattha Deva Manusanam, 7, Buddho, 8, and Bhagava, that's 9. So among these, which is basically means the Tathagata is the pure one and the perfectly enlightened one. He is impeccable in conduct and understanding. The accomplished one, the knower of the worlds, he trains perfectly those who wish to be trained. He is teacher of gods and humans. He is fully awake and holy. So this is the Buddha's qualities that we are talking about. And so far, I have explained up to the Sattha Deva Manusanam, which basically means he is a teacher of gods and humans. And I've explained it in a few nights on that, what that means. So today we will be focusing on Buddho, Buddho. Now, I'm trying to speak very slowly, okay, and the reason behind is that I am told I speak very fast and it's very difficult to grasp. And as a result of that, I'm trying to speak as slowly as I could so that everyone would understand. And again, if you think that I'm speaking loud and very fast, you can text me so that I can speak a little slower. Right. So this is the qualities of the Buddha. And as we all know that yesterday was the day when we celebrate the Buddha's birth, his enlightenment, and his passing away. One of the very important days in the Buddhist calendar, celebrating Buddha's birth, his enlightenment, and passing away. Throughout the world, it's been celebrated, but the celebration is very different compared to any other years of a celebration. And it is not just for the Buddhists that it is different, but it is to all, whether it is related to religion or whether it is related to any other works. But however, throughout the world, people have celebrated in different ways, whichever way they could. A majority of them are online. For me particularly, I was teaching from 6 o'clock, an hour teaching, meditation, and then chanting, meditation, and then our Vesak celebration, which started at 10 o'clock with chanting and guided meditation, offering a dana, the lunch, and then circumambulance, so holding the incense, candle, and flowers going around the Buddha statue. And it was really cold. It was really, really cold because of the wind. We are having this so much wind and rain. And then after that, we joined with the a group of monks from America and England, paying respect to one of the senior monks in Thailand, saying happy birthday for his birthday, and receiving the new title. Thank you, Margaret. You've been very supportive throughout the time, ever since I come online. I hope you had a lovely time in away, or are you still in Lucas? I hope you got back well. It went well. Yeah, so and after that again we had evening chanting, and few people come for blessings. As a tradition, particularly in Sri Lankan tradition, Sri Lankan families would come to the temple for the blessings. The whole family will come with a few things to offer, and for the blessings from the venerable monks would come to the temple and will be decorating the shrines and even making lanterns. So again, we also had a long chanting last night until 9 o'clock, and then the second part we will be chanting again tonight. Oh, good to hear, Margaret. Was lovely. I hope you had a lovely hugs, because the government is allowed to hug now. Yeah. So right, and that is what happening. And today again, I've been teaching from early morning, and then also teaching, giving a talk to the 170 students in Mahachula University. So teaching on the meditation, the retreat. That is my second time, and it's done for this retreat. So now here I am, and today it's a lovely day, so sunshine. I spent about 2 hours outside in the gardening, and weeding away and planting few things, and it was lovely to have sunshine. It's so good to have this sunshine, and all the sun rays is coming into your whole body, and I lie down and relax for a while. Maybe I got the suntan here. Okay, so if you see me, my face different, so that's a suntan from lying down on the lawn. Okay, so right, so today's topic is number 8 from the Buddha's qualities, and that is Buddho. And Buddho basically means the enlightened one. Buddho means basically the enlightened one. From the scripture, what it says that enlightened one, that means a person who knows what should be known. Yeah? And the Buddha, anybody knows what which age he attained the enlightenment? So he was a prince. As we know, he was born as a prince in the Kapilavastu, present day in Nepal. Although he was the prince, but he was born in Lumbini, which is again still in Nepal. And at the age of 35, that's right, Margaret, well done. And at the age of 29, he left the palace and spent 6 years practicing. And then at the age of 35, he became enlightened. And that is to the fruit of liberation he attained. And then ever since he discovered this fruit, or so-called enlightenment, he is known as the Buddha. Sometimes it is also translated as omniscient master. Buddha means Bu. Bu means Bud means the knowledge. Da means one who knows. And now here he attained the enlightenment at the age of 35, and that's how he became the Buddha. And this is quite similar to the second qualities that I have mentioned, and that is the Samma Sambuddho. Samma Sambuddho. And so that is the second quality, which is quite similar. And well, actually it is same. It is the same person in different name, but different qualities. But Buddha also has got the similar connotation with the Samma Sambuddho. Here, further on is saying that a person who discovered Buddhati, a person who has discovered the Four Noble Truths by himself and awakens others. So there's two things to remember here. One, he understands the Four Noble Truths, and the second, he could help others to realize this Four Noble Truth, and then it is known as the Buddha. Now, anybody remember the Four Noble Truths? Anish, do you remember Four Noble Truths? Yeah? So, Four Noble Truths. And here, the Four Noble Truths, the one, and here again, as I have said previously, that he understood the Four Noble Truths, and then he was able to convey that message. This is the Four Noble Truth. And then let others too understand this and then become an enlightened one. So this morning I was even asked, how could you relate the Four Noble Truths with the practice of a Satipatthana, which is the practice you are practicing to use the body, the feeling, the mind, and the Dhamma, and encourage or establishing your awareness, or the sati, the mind, and you become mindful of a body, feeling, mind, and consciousness. And how would you relate to it, to this, with the Four Noble Truths? Well done, Margaret. So that's right. Truth of suffering, and then cause of a suffering, end of suffering, path leads to the end of suffering. Well done. So that is the Four Noble Truths. And how that link with the Satipatthana practice is basically when we are practicing Satipatthana meditation, all what we are doing is paying attention to the body, feeling, uh, mind, and the Dhamma. And the reason behind we are paying attention to it, we are not focusing so firmly that we are not, that we are not observing any other things, but we are watching it so clearly that we are able to see the changing nature. The moment when we understood the changing nature, we will be able to understand that how this changing nature so deeply relates with our thoughts and with our minds, and how much we try to ignore or try to push it as we want it to be. Yeah? That's why in a definition of the dukkha, Buddha said, not having what you want is the dukkha. Not attaining what you want is the dukkha. And association with the disliked people is a dukkha. Disassociation with the liked one is dukkha. Or yampi chang nalabhati tampi dukkha. Whatever you wish and not happening it as we wish it to be, then that causes the suffering. And that's exactly what's happening here. When we are paying attention to the body, we don't want this body to be decay or get old. Anybody wants to be getting old? No, we don't want. Whenever we see the wrinkles and we start to think, oh, I am getting old. Look at my wrinkles all around, even this. So I'm very old now. Yeah. So the moment when we understand that this is changing, yeah, this is changing, and this inability to accept that change causes us suffering. Dukkha arises. See, that's how the path to realize the Four Noble Truths is you are practicing according to Satipatthana. And then eventually you will be able to comprehend and able to understand that what the dukkha is. Yeah? So that is the Four Noble Truths, and gradually you will be able to see that why you are having a suffering, because you can't accept the reality of the change. And where that change is taking place, it is taking place in our body, it is taking place in our feelings, it is taking place in our mind, and taking place in the phenomena, because everything is conditioned aroused. Sabbe sankhara anicca. All condition created are intransient or impermanent. This is for sure. And that is the reason why we suffer. Yeah? So that's why this is how you will be able to understand as you are practicing practicing Satipatthana, the Four Noble Truths becomes so relevant, and you will be able to understand it clearly, and you will see it. Okay? See that properly. And this is why Buddha is known as a person who has known it, known the Four Noble Truths. And I think previously I have mentioned that when the Buddha realized this Four Noble Truths, normally we say that the day when Buddha was enlightened, that time he attained the Four Noble Truths. But there is a process of attaining this Four Noble Truths. The first thing I have mentioned previously as well, that the first knowledge he got on the night, like yesterday, the Vesak day, the full moon, the first knowledge he attained was Pubbe Nivasana Satiyana. That basically means the knowledge about his previous lives. Yeah, knowledge about his previous lives. And there are so many lives that he lived. He was a animal, he was a celestial being, he was a human being. So he was wandering around in this samsara. I remember some people can't even accept that you have to be reborn as an animal. I remember so many, examples of Westerners coming to me and asking, "Is it true that after you die, you will be reborn as animal too?" And then when I say there is a possibility of becoming an animal, and they say, "Oh, then that's not my religion. I don't want to follow this religion, or I don't want to practice meditation if there is a possibility of me becoming an animal." So that is already, you are creating condition to be reborn in that state, delusional state, not knowing what should be known, and with lots of anger. Then there's high probability, not the less probability, high probability to be reborn in animal world. Now you can check yourself. Are you quick temper and get very annoyed quickly and angry? And the things that should be known, you feel, unknown, very dull, very dumb, like that. And then there is a possibility, okay, becoming or reborning in the animal world. But that's not the end of the story. In order to prevent not getting into the animal world, we have to practice the 5 precepts. Now, anyone remember again the 5 precepts? If you remember, you can type. A person who has been practicing in accordance with the 5 precepts, there is a very less chance that a person will be reborning lower than a human being. That's why it is also known as Manusya Dhamma. There's a high probability that you will be reborning in the human world, if not, then in celestial beings, in the heavens. So that's why the practice of a Buddha's instruction is so clear that if you don't want to be in the lower than the human worlds, then better practice 5 precepts. That's clear cut. And not only the reborning as a human beings, but also you will be reborning in the heavens. Well done, Margaret. Once again, Margaret got 100 points. Full. So not killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, gossiping, and intoxicant. Well done. Yeah. So that is the Manusya Dhamma. Anish said that wait for the Margaret's answer. No, next time you can answer too. Yeah, so these 5 precepts is the Manusya Dhamma, that you will be reborning in the human world, and you have closed the door to the lower than a human world. So we have to understand that, and this is again is the base, a foundation ground where we can build up our samadhi, the meditation. Right? And then further on, what will happen? We will be working towards the enlightenment, working towards the liberation. And this is again, we are following the teachings of the Buddha. That's exactly right. Absolutely right, Margaret. Animals are very lovely. Yeah, very lovely. But we have to remember, animals are so well respected and protected here in the UK, which is not in other parts of the world. Yeah? So that is the reason why, in even further on, there is a saying here in the Nidesa, one of the scriptures, saying that he is the discoverer of the truth. Now here, discoverer, here basically the truth was uncovered for many years, yeah, many thousands of years, but people do know that there is something, the truth is there, but nobody found it yet. So that's why Buddha said, whether Buddha was arised or not, the truth is always there. Buddha is there simply to discover it. And then thus he was known as, because he was a discoverer, he is known as the Buddha. And then he is the awakener of the generations. Thus he is known as enlightened. So he also help other people to be enlightened. Like we are so fortunate to have this opportunity to come across and learning the Dhamma, and still this Dhamma is exist. So that's how we are working towards it, and that's how Buddha is known as the great omniscient teacher who has realized the truth, and then he didn't keep it for himself, but he gave to everyone who wished to practice in accordance with it, and eventually free himself or herself, attaining the liberation. So who awakens the light of the wisdom in others. So basically means the awakener and enlightener. And that's the reason of the Buddha. This is the second last quality of the Buddha, so-called Buddho. And further on in Sutta Nipata, it says, the Buddha who is a person who has rid of dusts, unblemished, purified, and has attained the destination of birth. And also he has directly known what should be known, and also developed what should be developed, and abandoned what should be abandoned. And that's the reason why he is known as the Buddha. Yeah? So with this, I end here for tonight's reflection or talk. In a few moments' time, we're going to have evening chanting and guided meditation. You are most welcome to join with us. Until then, good night and see you shortly. May you all be well and safe. May the Buddha Dhamma Sangha bless you. Sadhu. Thank you. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Anish. Thank you, David.